Hey, this is Carrie from Wrap Your Head Around the Silks. This is the Expecting Aerialist podcast with the Digit Podcast Network. How's it going, guys? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm super excited to announce that Early Bird is now open for June 21 through 26th, our summer traincation. Train Hard, Play Hard in Miami, Florida. In partnership with Gravity Academy and Aerial Sailing Miami, I am putting together a 6-day, 20-hour in-studio training, and we have excursions with Aerial Sailing Miami to, do aerial off the side of a boat. All right, guys, please check the show notes if you want to sign up. February 25th is the deadline for Early Bird. If you go to my website, links in the show notes for my 2 courses, Aerial Rehab and my comprehensive beginner to intermediate course. And also on this feed on Thursdays is The Artist Entrepreneur, my weekly gap session with Noah Doc and Amanda Ritchie. All right, guys, so excited to listen to these interviews. Let's get started. Hi, Kitty.
Hi.
Oh my God, you are so beautiful and put together. You guys, look at this woman. Look, she's so pretty.
Hi. I took a shower today and everything. It was a great day.
Oh my God, it's a win.
Yeah.
I had told her, so my strong point in life is not time zones. I will tell you guys that right now. Time zones always screw me up.
I think you probably know that mine isn't either.
Time zones are hard for me. Anyways, and there's there's daylight savings time too. It screws everybody up because America does this weird. Do you guys have daylight savings time, or is that just America?
I think so. Don't quiz me on things like that.
Listen, America's a mess.
My phone tells me what time it is, and it adjusts it. I mean, back 20 years ago, someone would tell me, and now I trust the technology to tell me what time it is.
So because we were in her room, this is her room that I'm in, and usually I record in this closet that is soundproofed. But she started whining because I had told her we had an hour for her to play in her room. And because I was doing this an hour earlier, which I wanted to do, let's just get it done, right? Since we're both available. So I'm sitting in her room. I moved all of my equipment. So thank you you're welcome, Bean.
Thank you, Bean.
Thank you. So Kitty.
Yes, hi.
How old is your nugget?
She's 3 months old. Well, 13 weeks now. I know.
Is it your first?
It is my first, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll start from here. What is it like right now? How are you feeling?
Well, we've just reached the 3-month sleep regression. That was a fun time. We lost a lot of sleep over that. But she's back to, fingers crossed. We're very lucky we have a good sleeper. I know you're not supposed to jinx it, but we do have stints where she sleeps rather well, which means everything's so much better when you've got some sleep, right?
Oh my God. It's like you can function. If you don't have sleep, everything starts to fall apart. Like your nutrition falls apart.
Exactly.
Your brain falls apart. Listen, Kitty, though, but she was a good sleeper up until the sleep regression. And so what was it like during that transition of the regression?
It was a lot. It was just survival mode, isn't it? I think all of motherhood, especially in the beginning parts, is survival mode. And I've accepted that no one thing is ever going to stay the same. It's always adapting and growing. But every morning I woke up and we'd had 1-2 hours sleep patterns. I woke up every morning and I was like, we're supporting her needs of where she's at now. That's where she needs to be right now. That's what we need to go through in order for her to develop and change and learn these new skills. I think of it like if I do a lot of training, whether it's physical or an academic training, I'm exhausted afterwards when I've done anything intensive. So I need that respite, and my sleep is messed up and my feeding patterns are out the window and I need that reset. So I see that as that's her little reset, and I've just got to create that lovely little happy bubble for her until we get out of it. Can't tell you if I brushed my hair, how many days.
So wait, what did that mean? Like she was waking up every 1 or 2 hours throughout the night? Yes. Does she need to be fed?
Yes, she needed
Or
to
she
be
just
fed. She needed to be comforted. So at this time, the 3-4 month sleep regression is babies start to become more aware of the world. They start to get a circadian rhythm, the difference between day and night. And then also they start waking up in between sleep cycles. And so developmentally, it's usually when they start to become aware of the world. All of a sudden, she started smiling. She's smiling at other people. She's interacting with toys in front of her. And so all this new information means that her brain's developing. And so then she's got to learn to self-soothe in between those sleep cycles. So when she's waking up every 1-2 hours, it's when her sleep cycle has ended and she's hungry or she's tired. She doesn't know how to self-soothe, and feeding is always a great way to soothe a baby when they're that young. That's what they know. That's what they know is comfort, hugging, just being present and being a calm space for them to go back down, to help teach them to link those cycles back together.
It is debatable whether or not my 6-year-old knows how to self-soothe. Debatable.
I don't know if really I know debatable. How to self-soothe sometimes.
I don't know either sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I question that myself.
Yeah, I've got hot chocolate, so that's my current self-soothing.
We didn't do it yet. Introduce yourself, full name, where you live, a little bit about your aerial practice, and then we're going to go backwards a little bit and talk about your pregnancy.
Right. So, I'm Kitty. My full name is actually Katerina Stojanovic, but everyone calls me Kitty. I have been doing aerial for about 22 years. I'm based in the UK. I was brought up in a part of the UK called Wales, and I now live in England, so just south of London. And it's, aerial, I've kind of fell in and out of love with it over the years. I was performing, and then I wasn't performing, then I was performing. Of course, we get injuries along the way. And then I took up teaching as I got a little bit older.
She's air quoting.
Yeah. I love teaching it now. I love bringing the skill over to other people. So, yeah. I've done teaching for many years now.
Me too. I'm a professional teacher as well. That's like, I don't perform unless once in a while.
For funsies.
And then I realize I'm really out of shape. And then I'm like, like we have a recital for my students every year, and I like to perform at that just to train something. Yeah. And the last time I did it, I only ran the number like 5 times total. And I was not in shape for it. Like I was like,
it's the putting the sequences together. Because when you teach them in short stints, isn't it? And then you put it all together, and you're like, I haven't got the stamina for this anymore.
God, who choreographed this? This is a bad idea. And then I'm like, that was me. That was me. So, I'm about to do that again because our show is April 17th. Oh, everyone, Arium has a show on April 17th. So, Kitty, okay. So your practice, it's kind of as long as mine. My practice, I started at the age of 30 and I'm now 48. How old are you now?
I'm 40.
You're 40. Yeah. Okay. So, oh my God. What is going on? I've got all these things happening on my phone. Okay. Let's talk about your pregnancy. Did you mean to get pregnant? Was it planned?
It was, yes. It was a plan. Me and my husband had a 5-year plan, and it started in lockdown, because that is like almost 6 years ago now, lockdown. It's crazy.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. Bananas, yeah.
And I was working full time. I was working in healthcare at the time. So I kind of just immersed myself in work, and my husband was furloughed. He was off work. And in that time, he made this financial plan on how we were going to buy a house and prepare for our future. And so he made this 5-year plan, which was to save money. He worked out a percentage of how much we could save each week, each month.
Okay.
And then the plan was to buy a house, for me to get a qualification to change my work, which I did. I went and got a degree in, well, it's a BTEC level 5, so it's an equivalent to a degree in clinical massage and rehab.
Oh,
and then I set up my own practice. And then the end goal was to, well, we also got married and then to have a baby. So the baby was the last thing of this kind of 5-year plan that we crafted from lockdown. Took a little bit longer.
Is he usually that organized? My partner would never sit down and be like, here's our 5-year plan. He would never do that.
He likes spreadsheets, so I think that helps. You could make a spreadsheet for most things. So it was really good. And he had time to think about our future, whereas I was working all the time. So, he used that time to get fit, to look after himself. I was teaching online during lockdown. So I was just here, there, everywhere. And he used that time to kind of help craft this plan. And we sat down and we managed to achieve all of those things. We got married, we bought a house. Got qualification, set up a practice, and then make a baby. Making the baby was harder than we thought, because they tell you when you're younger, about that. Sneeze and you'll become pregnant. So. Or
you're trying your whole life not to get pregnant, and then suddenly you're trying to get pregnant, and it's not as easy as you thought. So what was the journey there?
So they call you a geriatric mum, don't they, when you're old?
Yes, they do.
And when I was younger, it used to be 30, you were a geriatric mum, and they told you if you were 30 and you had a baby, you'd have all these complications. And now a geriatric mum in the UK is considered 35.
Correct, same as America.
Yeah, soon as your due date lands on your 40th birthday, you're then considered a high risk. Your age then becomes a risk factor. So she was due 10 days before my 40th birthday. So I had lots of extra care.
Okay.
But because I knew I was going to be an older mum going into it, I'm all for preventative medicine. You know, as aerialists, the only way you can continue to do the trade, especially as we leave our 20s, is you've got to look after yourself. You've got to look after yourself in so many different ways. So I worked with this most amazing fertility nutritionist. And I thought, if I'm going to be a mum that is, like I said, older, I don't feel old in any way. I feel like I'm quite fit. Then at least I can get my body into as good of a shape as possible to have as healthy of a pregnancy as possible. So I worked with this fantastic nutritionist called Kirsten Moran in the UK. We did it all online. We did blood tests to check all of my different blood levels, to check that everything was in optimum place for conceiving. We then did the DNA testing to test my DNA for whether I was susceptible to certain conditions during pregnancy and how we could prevent that. So we can kind of almost like pre-plan some of it and go, right, well, this is a possible outcome. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we can do something like take a supplement or eat a certain food or work from the inside on that. And then we did the stool testing for the microbes within the gut, which I know in America that's quite popular, but in the UK it's not as easy to do that. It's not as popular here. I had to send it off to the Netherlands. There wasn't. So I had to send that abroad. That was fun, handing that to the delivery guy. And then with all that information, she made this plan to help get my body into the best condition to create the most healthy eggs. And so that's the way that I approached this. And we were very lucky. It took us, I think it was 6 or 7 months. So, which feels like forever when you've been wanting it for a long time.
Yes. Agree.
Yeah. And in the UK, we have a healthcare system called the NHS, the National Health Service, which is a free health service. But wait lists are very long. And in terms of fertility, you have to be trying for a year before they even consider doing any of these.
Yes, I've heard this.
So I thought, if I wait a year, then I'm definitely going to be 40, maybe 41, 42, having this baby. And I thought, well, at the time I was working full time, I thought, what a better way to spend my money than on my health and creating this healthy pregnancy. Yeah.
So did you end up using IVF or did you end up getting pregnant?
We ended up getting pregnant, so there was no intervention.
Okay, so you just had to spend your money to see the doctor and then get a plan of action then, and to figure out why you were not easily. So,
well, it was the nutritionist. We paid the nutritionist. She created a pathway for me and then prescribed supplements based on my blood levels and my DNA. So I kind of bypassed the doctors, but I could get doctors with, she had a qualification high enough that if I needed to speak to the doctors, we could liaison between the two of them. So I paid for it privately. So.
Okay. That's not bad though. Like that's way cheaper than like IVF. Yeah. IVF is like a mortgage, your entire house. Okay. Exactly. So after you figured that out with the nutritionist, you got pregnant pretty fast?
Yeah, within a year, which is considered normal. So.
Okay. Yeah. Were you doing all the things? Were you peeing on sticks and taking your temperature?
Oh, obsessively.
Okay.
I had the apps for it. I had to ban the test strips because I was getting so obsessed over testing. Because when you're trying and you've wanted it for such a long time.
Of course.
Of
course. It starts not being fun anymore, but I mean...
And then you have the hormones that go with it as well. When it's not successful and you have the hormones, it's like a punch in the stomach. It's like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when you did become pregnant, did you feel it in your body first? Did you know you were pregnant?
I had a feeling. I mean, I went training that day and I actually attended a class, and it was quite rare for me to actually attend a class as a teacher. So I've been trying leading up to it. Look after yourself. And one of the ways looking after myself is actually attending a class. And I'm attending a class and I can't do half the tricks. It's an intermediate advanced class and I can't do half the tricks and everything feels really uncomfortable. And my teacher at the lovely studio that I'm at, which is Core Fitness, which is based in West Sussex, she said to me, "Oh, is your period due? Because when your period's due, your body can feel quite sensitive." And I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I came home and I said to my husband, my body feels weird. I just had this very strange full body feeling that it's very hard to describe, but it didn't feel like my body. It felt like my body had kind of been like hijacked and was almost like shaking a little bit, but it wasn't in a frightening way. And my husband said to me, you're pregnant. This is 5 days before my period is due. And I said to him, you can't say that to me because you can't get my hopes up.
Yes.
And if I get my hopes up, then it's going to be harder when the period comes.
Yes.
And then that night, I had the most vivid dream of holding this baby girl in my arms and breastfeeding her. And I dreamt her name. And I woke up. And I felt like I'd lost this girl when I woke up because it was such a beautiful, vivid dream of this beautiful baby girl I was holding. And I told my husband in the morning, and then he said, now you have to take a test. So we went and got one of those bougie, fancy, expensive tests 4 days before your period. And I was pregnant. So I felt the moment that she implanted in there, my body felt all of those hormones.
Okay. And then when you went to the doctor to do your first ultrasound, did you ever figure out, the day you took your test, like how old she was? In terms of like the gestation of her, they adjusted the date by just a few days. So they usually at the first scan will adjust the due date. So originally my due date was the 2nd or 3rd of November 2025, and they changed it to Halloween.
And I was like, Halloween baby would be great, right?
So what I'm asking is that the day that you felt that, was that like she had been like implanted for a day or two or a week and a half?
It was as she was being implanted that I felt it.
Wow, that is crazy.
So it was, so when I look back at the calculations and I look back at the app, and when she changed it, because I ovulated a little bit earlier than what the average is. So then changing the days 3 days earlier aligned with when I actually ovulate.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I felt it. It's such a bizarre sensation that I felt. So.
Wow.
But none of this sore boobs, none of this like period like cramping.
None of that.
It was just like, I am different. Something is different here. And it just ached to train. Training felt really, really difficult. And it just felt like my body needed to lie down and rest. It's like it's got something it needs to do. So
wow, and you felt it so instantaneously. Let me think. I think that I went in for my scan at week 7, but then we had already took a pregnancy test by like week 5. So the 4 weeks before that, I didn't.
You didn't know.
But I also wasn't trying.
Okay.
So I think that those early tests are more for people like you, where you're trying and you're looking at the calendar, whereas we were not technically trying. I mean, we pulled the goalie, no more contraceptive, but oh my God, so interesting. So did that continue, your aversion to training? Did that continue throughout your pregnancy?
No, I was really lucky. I found spinning a little bit disorientating the first couple of weeks. At 5 weeks, I got about a week after becoming pregnant, I've become quite unwell, and they sent me for an emergency scan thinking it was an ectopic pregnancy because I had this intense pain on one side of my abdomen and then a pain on the other side of my shoulder, which is classic pain symptoms for ectopic. And I think I just nurdled the shoulder in training. So they thought it was ectopic, so they sent me for an emergency scan at 5 weeks. At this point, no one knows. So I didn't want to go training with anyone because I didn't want to. I didn't want to have to lie to them, because I don't think it's fair to put that on someone if they don't know. Especially if someone's teaching me or I'm in a room with someone training.
Right.
I got an all clear. She was exactly where she needed to be. And like with any injury I've ever had and gone and got an x-ray or a scan and all of that, we kind of are frightened to move in case we make it worse, especially when you're training to such extremes. You worry that you're going to kind of prevent your ability in the future to be able to continue to do this art form.
Yes.
So having that all clear that everything was fine, I was like, right, if I had a client that come presenting with this pain, what would I do? And I was like, right, I would do this exercise. I would do that. I would do this clinical treatment. Went off, did all that. All that pain went away. And I actually did a photo shoot at 7 weeks pregnant. So
yes, like a regular photo shoot, not a pregnancy one. Yes.
Just a regular photo shoot. Went off, did and it was only the spinning that made me feel uncomfortable, and I was very lucky. I didn't have any morning sickness.
Okay.
I wasn't really overly tired. I didn't really have the classical symptoms, but the whole time I was under this guidance of this nutritionist.
Yeah, she sounds like a really good one to have there.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was like, every time I had like a hint of a symptom, I would message her and she'd be like, right, do this. This is what you need to do for your body based on your history, etc. This will help with it. So one of the things I was taking was B6, which I think in America they prescribe for morning sickness. So I was already taking that.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, so I just continued training. I continued training all throughout my pregnancy. I think it was 35 weeks I stopped teaching.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I stopped teaching the children's classes earlier on, simply because children are a little bit more unpredictable.
Yes.
And we were kind of in between terms and promoting a new class. In order to promote a new class, it's kind of difficult to know how long I was going to teach for. So we dropped that one sooner, whereas adults are a lot more flexible. And then I continued to teach. I was teaching aerial hoop, the advanced, we call it level up in the school I'm at. So the advanced, so like beats and swings and things like that. And I just followed my body and my cues. And when my body said, this doesn't feel safe anymore, I stopped doing it. And if I needed to teach something, there was always a student in the class that I could get to demonstrate something.
Yeah.
And we worked a lot more on concepts and training, which for me, when I first started circus training, it wasn't all about the Instagram pictures and everything like that. We used to do a 30-minute warm-up. We then used to
How long are your classes there? Are they 90 minutes?
They're 60 minutes that I teach.
Okay.
And the ones
so you're doing half of it. You're doing training on the ground for half of it then.
Yeah. So with the school that I originally trained with, it was 90 minutes and it was 30 minutes warm up and stretching, then about 20 minutes of conditioning.
Correct.
And then
yes, me too.
The tricks were just, you would learn the tricks, you'd get a few goes of it, and then it was stretching and cooling down your body was like a huge part of it. The tricks were just a portion of it. And how can you fit all of that into 1 hour when the warm-up is one of the most important parts and the conditioning? So that was one of the things that I did during my pregnancy journey, is I got to really incorporate a lot more of that conditioning to my students to kind of go, right, if you want to understand the concepts of dynamics, you've got to learn how to correctly do beats. So we did everything like the arm hangs, the pull-ups, the subtle movements in the air and on the floor, to get your body understanding how to move on that plane rather than just showing a move. Here you go, up you go.
Yes.
And so that was really actually quite a lot of fun and refreshing to teach and change the style of the way it was. So adapting, but in a way that works for me and is also really beneficial for my students, was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and they got a lot out of it, and I got to see them get really strong really quick. There was a lot of complaining.
Lots of complaining, but you're speaking my language. I mean, it's like us teachers, we have to kind of hold the line. Like, you're going to learn all this stuff and you're not going to be able to do any of it. You're going to be more susceptible to injury. You're not going to be what you want. You're not going to get what you want eventually. What you want is to be able to do it and do it well. So here's our pathway, which is, the thing that killed me the most, I talk about this all the time. Teacher Carrie, Coach Carrie, I'm a visual learner. I was like, okay, you might believe that right now, but if you're a dancer, what, Bean?
Stop.
What?
I need you to quit the kids.
Okay, she said, I need you to quit teaching kids. She doesn't like me teaching kids because she doesn't want me to pay attention to any other kids besides her.
That's understandable.
Yeah, it's understandable. They're the worst, Bean? Okay. So, they say I'm a visual learner, adults and kids. And I'm like, well, as a dancer, if you tell me to do 5 things in a row, you don't have to show me. I can do it because I know how to take direction. So this is a skill that you might not already have, but you're going to learn it right now. So,
yeah.
Bottom line.
Exactly. This is how we're doing
Bottom
it.
line.
If you want to turn up next week, and they will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my favorite sound is after the conditioning when you this and they all just flop for a minute, because you know that they've pushed their body in a way that they wouldn't have usually pushed.
Yes.
And going upside down is hard.
Yes.
Especially with our bodies, because it's all about proprioception, which is your body's awareness in time and space. It's like when we walk, we don't need to look at our feet because we know where our feet are when we walk. But when you've had one too many tequilas, you have to look at your feet where you're going because your time and space is affected. So it's a known phenomenon that when we go upside down or we change a skill in the plane, our proprioception changes. And the only way you're going to change that, learn that, is to keep repeating the same movements over and over and over again. You've got to teach your brain on how it exists in time and space on that plane. So if you're learning to beat and do dynamics, that's a completely different plane, because that's a moving plane that you've got to learn to work with.
Yeah. I don't ever do those things, actually, for me.
They're terrifying.
I'm not a beater. But listen, the thing is, everybody on this podcast, we're just preaching to the choir, because there's a bunch of professionals, there's a bunch of teachers, there's a bunch of students, but we're all in it to win it. So we all have learned this already, that you can't do this quickly. It's not meant to be easy, you know? But we're just all talking to each other, because we're like, the students, you know, they want to, you know, I know they want to feel success. The classes are not cheap. So we have to give them success in other grounded ways. The same way as, you know, kid has success as she's in school, you know, with my kid in school. But oh my God. Okay, let's talk about this baby that came out. So, back up one step. How was the birth?
I mean, it's a lot, isn't it?
What was it? What was it?
I mean, birth just in general is a lot. However,
yeah. How was yours? Was it
a lot?
Was it smooth? What happened?
So it lasted about 3 days. For those quick ones. I started pre-dawn labor on the 5th of November, which in the UK is bonfire night. So we have fireworks. So I remember being at a firework display, and at the firework display feeling her jump when the big bangs went off.
And then the cramping. Where are we?
But it was mild, and it lasted. And then when I went to sleep, it went away. And then the cramping came back regularly the next day. And then Friday, I did everything to all the positions. I mean, I think I might have even gone training on the Thursday to try and get it to move.
Wait, what? How many weeks were you? Was your due date very, very close?
So no, I was late. So I was late. So I was due on Halloween, and she came on the 8th of November.
Oh,
so
okay.
That the age factor, everyone's terrified that if it reaches my 40th birthday, then there's a risk factor. And I'm thinking one day isn't going to make a difference. And when you start becoming late, they start trying to push interventions on you. Well, we need to get this baby out. And I'm thinking, well, the baby's going to come out eventually, some way or the other. And she was late. I went training on my due date. And I went training a few days later as well. And I was still exercising. And it was a long birth. So on the Friday, my waters broke while I was doing like a floor, like inverted puppy pose to try and get her to turn. It's part of what's called the spinning babies technique, to get the baby to turn into an optimal birthing position. And then I went to hospital. But the moment I got there, complications started. So it wasn't the smoothest of journeys. I had an allergic reaction to some antibiotics that they gave me.
Oh no.
And that was the first thing they gave me. And then I also had blood in my water, so I needed additional monitoring. And then eventually I had an epidural, which I had in for, it was more than 12 hours, because the person who put the epidural in left and went home, and then came back to check in on the epidural 12 hours later. So I went into hospital on Friday at 7 p.m. and she came just before midnight the next day. And luckily it was a natural birth. She turned at the last minute and we managed to get a natural birth. And thank goodness for epidurals, because it literally took away all that pain. It worked a treat for me.
So when did you get the epidural in the process?
It was I lasted about 7 hours before considering pain relief. But I was also battling an allergic reaction to the antibiotics I had to take as well. So my body just it went into this hypersensitive state. I wasn't eligible for the water birth, which is what was my preferred state. Plans change, eh? I mean, it's all good. Um, and when I was offered pain relief, and they check you in the UK, they check you, I think it's every 4 hours to see how far you've dilated. And I was waiting for that next check because I was like, if it's progressed really quickly, then I've just got to ride out so much time, right? I can kind of, right, well, there's only so much time. I hadn't dilated a single centimeter since the last check.
Oh my
And
God.
I
You
was
were like, what the
okay,
hell?
give me the epidural. And I got to have a sleep. It was great. It's great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a long one. It was a long one. But I was very lucky. I had a great team. I had one-to-one care the whole time. Sometimes there was more than one midwife in the room. I think they were worried about some of the complications I had, but nobody actually gave away what they were worried about, and I just didn't ask.
And to this day, you don't know what they were worried about.
I think they were worried about placenta abruption, which is where the placenta detaches from the womb. So because I was bleeding so much,
Okay.
I got into hospital. But I remember asking them, what could that be? And they were like, well, it could be many things. We just want to keep an eye on your baby to make sure she's okay. And I went, okay. Okay. And they give me this lovely big suite. I had the biggest room on the labor ward. Yeah, people were just checking in on me all the time. And I think I had like 4 or 5 midwives while I was actually pushing. And in hindsight, looking back, that's probably because they were ready to rush me into surgery. That there's that many people on hand to just take me.
Right. It wasn't just great customer service.
Yeah, I was like, all these women are cheering me along. It took about 55 minutes of pushing. And yeah, I couldn't push in any position other than my back because her heart rate dropped. So the only position that was I could feel like I could get a push was my feet were pushed up against the stirrups. And then someone gave me a bed sheet and they wrapped it up and I pulled on it so it would help me engage my abs down. My abs were in
so sore.
like for like a week. After about a week, I was like, why are they so sore? My husband said, well, you were crunching like the whole time you were pushing. But yeah, I felt like I was going to pull this lady off. At one point, there was 2 of them holding the thing because I was like, I'm worried I'm gonna pull you away. Like one of them said, I'll hold your feet as you push your feet down to get that pressure. And she was a tiny little thing, and I just kept kicking her out of the way. And I was like, just put that shelf there. I said, I won't put the pressure in if I'm worrying about knocking you over. So the strength of being an aerialist and having strong abs meant that that I could endure that 55-minute marathon there.
Oh my God. So wait, you were bleeding how long before the baby came out?
From the moment my waters broke.
What? Like how much?
Like it was enough to, I mean, my waters were going as well. So but it was enough to kind of regularly change the pad even if my waters weren't running. So it was like a light period constantly. So yeah, the whole time. And I did ask them, but they came to a point where in labor you can't even put your knickers on and off it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just asking them, is it still bleeding? They go, oh, a little bit, which means that yes, it is. So I didn't. Yeah. So, and once I had the epidural, I was immobilized. Some people can still walk around with an epidural with the one that they give nowadays. I don't know if it's the same in America. But I couldn't feel one leg. The other leg I had full control over, but one leg decided, nope, we're not doing that. So I was completely immobilized then from the point I had the epidural, which was about 14, 15 hours, something like that.
Yeah. I'm just going to give myself the credit here. Every single woman I randomly picked to be in this podcast has the most ridiculous, crazy story.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just because there's so many crazy stories out there. I think that's
Yeah.
probably what it is.
But
There's very few like, oh, I just was totally perfect.
but life doesn't work that way. I mean,
No.
like, and
No.
there's so many variables. We look at TV and it's like women lie on their back to push, which is ironically what I ended up doing, having the epidural and pushing on my back. But we did try different things. It's just it wasn't available to me. And there's so many things that can go wrong, but I am so grateful to live in a time of modern medicine where before that would have meant that my baby or myself wouldn't have survived. And I have a healthy baby girl that I got to be able to have naturally and didn't have any post-birth complications. So,
You know, my most realistic story that has been produced about childbirth in my mind is did you ever see the like what they did for Game of Thrones, but the second series? It was like all about like the Targaryens,
yes,
the blonde ones.
yes.
Did you see that?
It's a long time ago. I watched
Okay,
that.
listen. So listeners, if you haven't seen it, it is all about how these women suffer and die from childbirth. Literally, like, woman is pregnant, baby can't come out. They cut her in half, take the baby out. They let the woman sit there, like bleed to death. And then the second one was she was in so much pain, she asked her dragon to kill her, and her dragon did. Like her dragon, she said, Dracarys, please. And then the dragon like engulfed her in flames, and then she was.
I mean, it's painful, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God, what if it was during those times? Not that it's real. That's a fantasy. But
Dragon in her?
there was a dragon in the UK. No, I'm talking about a TV show. She always pops. She's like, what are you talking about, mommy? This doesn't make any sense.
Almost.
Anyways,
No, right?
a little bit. So, okay, so you got this 3-month squish.
Yeah.
We are going to wrap up soon, but I want to know if you're breastfeeding. I want to know anything that has come up that is notable for this audience.
So yeah, I'm breastfeeding, exclusively breastfeeding. We found out quite early on that she had a cow's milk protein allergy, which means
Oh,
that
how? Because she was sick with it?
she was violently projectile vomiting everywhere.
With formula.
No, with my breast milk. So me eating the milk,
Oh.
the protein passed down into the milk. But being informed and someone who really fights for my health, I really pushed that, and we eventually got the diagnosis, which meant that I had to eliminate dairy from my diet.
Yes.
Joy, and she got so much better with it. Yeah, and she comes training with me now. My little Bubba, she comes with me. I'm very lucky to still have access to a studio. And so currently I'm training with another mama whose baby has just turned 1, and we turn up to one of the studios that has closed doors. And we train
so
together.
nice.
Sometimes I get in the air, sometimes she is in the sling with me, and we just follow her lead each time.
So wait, it's been 14. How many weeks postpartum are you?
15.
15. When did you
15.
start back?
Sorry?
When did you start back in the studio?
So I got signed off to go back to fitness at 7 weeks. So I was back on the aerial equipment at 7 weeks. I started my pelvic floor from the moment I got home. Well, the moment I was given birth. I started very gentle abdominal exercises from week 1. As soon as I could lie on the floor, I was doing my diastasis recti abdominal exercises. Started going for long walks at 2 weeks. And then we built it up, started doing squats at about 3 weeks, started doing squats with her at 4 weeks, wearing her. And then I just slowly built it up. So by the time it got to the 7 weeks, so my insurance for my public liability wouldn't have covered me without that doctor sign off. And so why risk it, eh? Why risk it if you're not covered? And the studio
And you're
wouldn't be-
busy.
Yeah. Why and with the studio, why risk it with the studio? So 7 weeks I got back on the equipment, and I started the aerial hammock was the first thing I got on. because I thought it's the softest and most secure thing there. And I was like, even if I just kind of stand on it today, I'll feel like I've achieved something. And I was really happy with myself. I could still invert in the hammock. I could still get up and do some tricks. I practiced a sequence and then I recorded it and put it online. So I was like, this is me at 7 weeks. And then 8 weeks, I got on the hoop. I managed to do a beginner's combo, and she's in the push chair in the background.
Oh, so sweet.
And so I've just been building it up that way, just slowly. And on the days where she needs more attention from me, we just do conditioning, because conditioning as we said, is as valid as
Absolutely
doing the actual moves itself. And it's like having to relearn your whole body again. It's amazing. It's beautiful what it's gone through, and I feel so proud that she's going to be part of that journey with me, and that I am in a position where I can take her with me and she can grow up with this around her. So
this is such a good story. Kitty, you make such good content for this podcast. You're like everything, check boxes, problems with this, problems with that, but training through it.
How did she find you?
I know. How did she find me? I found her on Facebook, Bean, as I do many of the women.
Yeah.
Kitty, I appreciate you. I will probably put you on my list to do a check-in in like a year.
Amazing.
Because I want us. Can we go to where?
The pool?
Oh, you want to go to the pool right now? Listen, she's got me I'm just a butler, you know?
Mommy button.
I'm a driver. I'm a butler. I'm a cleaner. I'm a cook.
Do everything.
Everything.
Content
She's
creator.
laughing now. Eve, content creator. She's laughing now. Don't laugh. She's an evil laugh. Kitty, this was a joy. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you and like us figuring out time zones.
Yeah, I know that was a battle. I think against everything. That was the hardest.
That's always the
bit,
hardest
isn't it?
thing. That's the hardest thing. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friends. If you would leave me a 5-star rating and a review, it means the world to me. It really helps people find this. If you are an expecting aerialist around the world, or if you feel like you have a story to contribute to this podcast, please reach out to me, DM, email, carrie@wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. I have an interview every single week, so there's lots of room for lots of stories. I really would love to hear from more of you. And the Mamas page, the Facebook page, I'm actually the admin for that. So I love that you guys are asking questions on there and really participating in the community. All right, my friends, check my website for my courses and also to sign up for this year's summer retreat in Miami, June 21st through the 26th. All right, my friends, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later. This is The Expecting Aerialist.